People publicly supporting Aaron Hernandez isn't a long one, but Snoop Dogg is. He took to his Instagram account on Thursday and sent this photo out of himself with Hernandez to his almost 2 million followers. The photo caption said, quote, "Keep your head up. We praying for you." Snoop might be supporting Hernandez because he knows exactly what the former Patriots tight end is going through. Snoop was acquitted of first and second degree murder charges in 1993. Stephen A., should the NFL be concerned about this type of support for Hernandez?
Skip, my answer is going to be yes. Skip and Kerry. It's going to be an absolute yes. And I'm not going to cast any aspersions on Snoop Dogg. He's come a long way. I got a lot of respect for that man. I got a lot of love for Snoop. And I take into account the environment that you come from and the environment you're still closely associated and connected to when words come out of your mouth. That's not to absolve anybody from illegal activity. It's not to sit there and condone their behavior in any way. But there's explanations for a lot of different things. Not everything, but a lot of different things. If you are from a certain element and you are still living in that element and it still engulfs you and your life, then, it's almost like, it's a foregone conclusion what's going to happen to you. If you're hanging in the streets and you're conducting yourself that way, and that's the life that you're living and you're connected to, that's entirely different than you being removed from it and then choosing to go back to it. You see what I'm saying? And that's what we're talking about when we're talking about here with Aaron Rodgers. Everybody that's associated with the hip-hop industry, Aaron Hernandez, I apologize. Everybody that's associated with the hip-hop industry are not criminals, and they're not all associated with illegal activity or anything like that, even though the hip-hop industry doesn't shy away from being associated with a certain element. The bottom line is that if they find themselves in those kind of situations, or they find themselves not being as judgmental as the rest of us in society, we sort of understand where that's coming from. You're the NFL. You don't have that kind of thinking. You can't embrace it. You can't condone it. You can't do anything. You can't even try to explain it. The NFL is the leading sports brand in the United States of America. And even though the arrests that have taken place in just recent memory are nothing more than a microcosm of society, because you're talking about 1 to 2% of its players being arrested, the fact of the matter is, here's what we know. According to reports out of San Diego, as of the end of the Super Bowl that took place this February, 31 NFL players have been arrested. 31. Now,
are you including your New York Giant yesterday?
Yes. That's right. That might be 32. I think it's 31, but it might be 32. All I'm saying to you is this. You're the NFL, and guys are getting arrested left and right, carrying a switchblade at an airport, carrying firearms on them. One dude getting up and running. The Indianapolis Colts? Who ran from the police and ran in a separate direction, and this boy tried to evade police before they caught him and put him in jail. Okay, I'm saying that these kind of things that have been transpiring are incredibly, incredibly alarming. And if you're the NFL selling your product to mass America, you can't tolerate this. So to me, Roger Goodell should be very concerned. So much so, Skip, I would like to make a proposal on national television right here, right now. I don't care about the court of law for a second. If you are arrested for carrying an illegal concealed weapon and you are an NFL player, it is an automatic suspension until the case is resolved. Automatic. And I'm talking about if you got arrested, you don't even have to hear from the team. You know not to come back to work. This is what should happen immediately, because you can't have your product associated with this kind of nonsense. So I hear, the Snoop Doggs and others, but they're living in a different world than Aaron Hernandez was living in. And it can't be tolerated.
Well, obviously, in the hip-hop world, doing jail time can enhance your brand.
To some degree, yes.
It can increase your mystique, right?
Yes.
Look, I've never shied away from saying this. It's a gladiator sport, and gladiators will be gladiators. This is nothing new for the National Football League. Now, I don't expect Commissioner Goodell to speak out today and applaud Snoop for supporting Aaron Hernandez. But I will say this. I didn't have a big problem with what Snoop said. I thought he was keeping it real, as in extremely real, maybe too real for the NFL's taste, because it almost came across to me as a voice of reason here. It was the one man who stood up and said, hey, innocent until proven guilty. He beat 2 murder raps, first and second degree. Snoop did. I don't even know the details. I don't know. That we've talked about the mountain of circumstantial evidence. We would all 3 be shocked if Aaron Hernandez was ultimately acquitted of these charges, right? But in my career, I cannot remember a rush to judgment any quicker than this one, because he's basically, Aaron Hernandez, been convicted in the court of public opinion. Am I right about that?
Yes. May I answer, Jeff?
Yes.
You know what, Skip? Nobody. I don't know if you've met anybody that preaches the importance of innocent until proven guilty more than me.
I agree.
Well, allow me to rehash some of the details. We don't find the murder weapon. We did this with Tateo. And obviously that was just involving the
I'm with you on all this.
Let's go a more serious route, y'all. We don't have a murder weapon, but we have a dead body a mile away from your house. We have video of you in the car leaving the location. We have the time that you arrived back at your house 5 minutes later. We have video of you with the murder weapon in your hand.
You don't know if it's the murder weapon.
I'm sorry. No,
with the gun.
No, I'm saying with the gun that they said match whatever. Then we have you going down to your house and shutting off the security system that has the video of you with the weapon in your hand.
Right.
We have 2 other people that have turned themselves in that were believed to be at the scene of the crime.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I really am. And I don't want to encourage anybody to just go out there and say, guilty. But if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it ain't a damn mongoose. I mean, we know what. So all I'm saying is this. We weren't there when it actually happened. I can appreciate Snoop Dogg's position. What I would ask, however, is you talk about keeping your head up, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I get you. But my point is, you don't know all the facts that have been presented. Based on the facts that have been presented, talk about a time that just chill out.
I get you, but how many from Snoop's community have been wrongly accused? How many?
That's true.
Right.
That's true. There's a lot. But the flip side to it again is you're talking about a life and what you're confronted by as opposed to a life that you got beyond, didn't want to let go of, and you're still holding on to it. Not to mention the fact that, again, a lot of times in that world, you talk about people bothering you, you talk about retaliation, as opposed to a dude that's sitting there just jumping up. And all I'm saying is, I'm not convicting the dude, but I got 2 eyes.
Close.
Yes, I am close. It does look bad. It does. This is not a circumstantial case you would want against you.
No. And remember, you got other previous shootings in which he may have been involved.
How about that?
Okay.
They're investigating a double murder from 2007 that took place while the dude was in training camp.
Snoop Dogg not condoning sending his support via Instagram. More First Take.